This lecture is about Pearl Harbor and the Japanese internment camps. Before the attack, while Hitler continued his dictatorship in Europe, the United States officials felt it was best not to be involved in an international war. Their minds would soon change after the attack on the Pearl Harbor U.S. Naval Base in Honolulu, Hawaii on December 7, 1941. Attack on Pearl Harbor. On Sunday, December 7, 1941, before 8 a.m., a fleet of Japanese fighter planes woke up the U.S. soldiers and community by releasing bombs and torpedoes on the naval base. This attack took the U.S. soldiers by surprise as they rushed to defend their ships and territory. The Japanese goal was to take out U.S. ships and the airbase. The aftermath of Pearl Harbor. The two most recognized ships that were destroyed this day was the USS Arizona and the USS Oklahoma. Around 2,403 people died from this attack. This includes soldiers and civilians. This attack was devastating to the United States, and officials were ready to take a stand. On December 11, 1941, the United States entered World War II. To the left, you can see two pictures of the ships. What's to come? Racism engulfed the country as citizens and officials feared that they were not safe with the Japanese American citizens having the same freedoms as them. President Roosevelt issued the Executive Order 9066 on February 12 of 1942, which mandated that all Japanese citizens must comply and migrate to internment camps set up by the government. Japanese citizens from all over were removed from their homes and isolated from the world. Here, Japanese citizens were interrogated about their knowledge of the Pearl Harbor attack and their possible connections to the Japanese Army. Internment camp conditions. The internment camps were similar to barracks and had common rooms for meals. Japanese citizens' living conditions were subpar, and most of the time, the families shared living spaces with multiple families. Each camp had schools, post office, work facilities, and farmland for food and animals. All camps had barbed wire fences, which were guarded with soldiers and guard towers. The Japanese American citizens would stay in these camps for 3 years, from 1942 to 1945 until the end of the war. To the right, you can see some images about what the camp looked like. Thank you for listening to this lecture.